Hi everyone, welcome to my Autodesk screencast. My name is Dzan and I work for Repro Products in Smyrna, Georgia. I am an Autodesk certified instructor and hold many certifications in multiple Autodesk products for the AEC industry. I hope you enjoy my screencast. If you'd like to see more of my screencasts, please search for VAR 2015, that's VAR 2015, or my name. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up after you watch it. In today's screencast, we'll be taking a look at schedules in Revit. Here I am in Revit 2016, and I have just a standard model up. A schedule is considered a view in Revit, so we'll go to the View tab of the ribbon. In the Create panel, there is the command for schedule. You also have the ability in the project browser to right-click where it says Schedules and Quantities and add a new schedule. When you do this, the new schedule window comes up and it will ask you, what object are you trying to schedule? What category of objects? So for example, let's say we do furniture schedule, and you can give it a name. And you are scheduling the actual building components, the families themselves. We'll hit OK, and your schedule properties window will open up. And the way this window functions is there are tabs, field, filter, sorting, grouping, so on and so forth. The fields tab is basically all the vertical columns of your schedule from left to right. On the left-hand side are all the fields that are available for you to work with. You can go ahead and either single click and hit add, or you can double click. So for example, I can double click mark, family and type, what level it's on, manufacturer, model, what else? Maybe type mark, and count and cost, and maybe even description. Once you have the vertical columns you want on the right-hand side, you can actually sort this by moving them up or down. And let's see, we'll go ahead and manufacture, and we'll put description, we'll put cost and count at the bottom. You can always rearrange this after the fact, so don't worry if you didn't get this exactly the way you wanted to. The filters tab basically says, now that I'm looking at that data, what do you want me to just show? In other words, maybe I need to filter by a particular level, and if it's equal to a certain level, that means only the furniture that's on the first floor will show up in this schedule. For now, I won't do that. Sorting and grouping is basically how you want to sort the data. Maybe we want to sort by mark, maybe by type mark, and then maybe by level. We can set up totaling if we want to as well. We can also put headers and footers if we need to. And we can have our own custom title block for the total. The formatting tab basically says all the information that's in those cells, how do you want them to be arranged? For example, they can all be center justified. The cost can be totaled out using currency to the second decimal place and the dollar symbol. The count can also be totaled out as well. What else? And so, you can go through and you can make any adjustments that you need to. The Appearance tab says, how does the graphic line work of the schedule view appear on the actual CD sheet? And how does the text appear? So for example, maybe we want wide lines for the graphics on the outline. Maybe we want 1/4 inch Arial. Maybe we want 3/32 inch Arial, and then the schedule is the default. When you're finished, hit OK. It builds the schedule for you and shows you the data. This is the actual view, and that view is then put on a new sheet or on an existing sheet. So we'll just drag and drop it and place it accordingly. Now, as you can see, this is very, very long. So depending on what kind of information you need to display and how you need to display it, you may need to make adjustments such as the widths of the columns, whether we want to itemize them or not itemize them. If you want to, you can double click and go straight back to the actual schedule view. We'll go to, say, sorting, and we won't itemize. So now everything's grouped and it's a much, much smaller schedule. I go back to the view and close it and go back to the sheet. I can see that it's now updated and it's not so long. Again, we can select it and we can adjust the width of each of the columns and make it look appropriate. And as you can see, there's a lot of information already placed into the instance and property data of the schedule and of the objects themselves. Let's go back to that view. Here, if I go in and I put information such as the mark, if I get a warning like this, it's letting me know that I'm actually putting in information that is duplicating. So be very careful, especially when you're doing not itemizing every instance. If I go here to the type mark and I change this to HM-1, HM1-1 like this, what ends up happening is it will tell you that you're going to get a warning to let you know you're changing information that's type property information. So all the objects of that type will change. Hit OK, and it will update accordingly. At any point in time, you can highlight or select any one of those and click highlight in the model, and it will take you to a view to see that model. You can always continue to click show, and it will cycle through to find the best view that you want to see. Okay, and then we'll close those views and get back to the schedule. Obviously, we can go through and we can insert, delete, resize, hide columns and rows if we need to. And depending on what, excuse me, what cell we're in, we could do things like shading and borders. So maybe I want to shade it up. Maybe I want the font to be a different font and maybe a different color. So there's a lot of capability in the schedule within Revit. And it's not as quite as extensive as Excel, but it's getting there. And that's it. And then obviously there's other things you can do: align, horizontal, vertical, borders, things like that. So this is a quick tutorial on schedules in Revit. Thanks for watching my screencast, and please don't forget to give me a thumbs up.